Good evening, dear viewers. Welcome today for the Environment Dialogue here at UCTV. Today I'm here with a wonderful gender. When you talk about gender, men should not be, and you should not say that, oh, Dickens is unfair or what. No, we need to give the ladies a chance to echo out their voice because we have taken all these spaces for a long time. But you know, always at Environmental Dialogue, we do always balance. Last week, we had a gent and a lady, but this time, the lady said that, you know what? If it's about matters of climate justice, which is our topical discussion today, they cannot leave us just. We need to really send our voice that due to the things which are already prevailing right now within our country, which the government is trying to embrace, like first we had the declaration of the National Cleaning Day, which is already implemented, is in action. And even this week, we are preparing for the second one, which is coming. And also from also another angle, that something that the young people that have been pushing, that have been telling, convincing the government, we need to abolish these old taxes, these DMCs. Then the Honorable Fred from Ministry of Transport said that, you know what, young people, today I'm declaring that anything called an old taxi, a DMC taxi, we don't want to see it in the street. And we, you know, wake up in the morning, we are trying to breathe some fresh air. No jam, you can move freely in the city. Because of that, if the government can embrace what the young people have been talking of, then we say that we are good to go as Ugandans. And we know that the sky is not going to be only the limit for us, but eternity for us to change this part of Africa to be a better place. And today, before going for the topical discussion, I want to tell you the young people that government is organizing very many conferences. First of all, the government is organizing the first ESG, that's Environmental Social Governance Conference, which is going to take place on 28th of next month. It's 25th. It's an expo. If you've never attended such kind, you want to get to know about the environmental social governance, please don't miss. It's going to be at Kampala Marriott Hotel. Please just mark it in your calendar. That's why we have this discussion, for you to get information. And another conference which we are going to have it next week, which is from 1st to 2nd September, is the African Climate Conference, which the theme is from commitment to capital. Because when we are talking about Sente, Twagala Sente, you need to know about it. Because when we are talking discussion, the young people want to know where will they get the money from. And we are going to tell you where to get all this money from. So those are briefly, but as we go on, we are going to tell you, give you update, because there are very many things which are going on. The conference is going on, the SDG run, the SDG CEO's breakfast meeting is coming on board. And you can only get to know through this program. That's why it's a must-watch program. And that's why you should never, if it reaches Wednesday, you should never even change to other station, but you need to lock it at UCTV. That's it. Thank you very much. Let me go and give my guests to say hi. But one has already been the first of this show. Another one is our first time, but also we welcome them. So, let me start from my right. Yes. You're most welcome.
Thank you very much, Dickens.
Introduce yourself to the viewers. The viewers want to know you, want to know about you, what you do. Yes. Why have you come today here? Because have you heard that it's a climate justice? Because we are preparing for COP. That's why you have come. Please, greet the viewers.
Yes, our dear viewers. I am Biira Sharon, and I work with Girls for Climate Action. We are a woman-led organization that is fronting for climate justice, gender justice, and environmental protection. Women are the forefront for everything.
Wow.
I'm also part of the Environmental Human Rights Defenders, and I'm excited to be here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Drums are rolling for you. I have interesting guests. All right. Yeah. This is your second time. Yeah. Please. I know that some of the viewers are excited to say, wow, we are seeing our Samalie. But introduce yourself, the new ones whom our new converted. You know, we are converting the youth.
Right.
All right.
Well, good evening, viewers. My name is Nawaguna Tabo Samalie, and it is a pleasure to be here once again for this interview. And I'm so privileged, the co-founder or founder director of Pure Earth Organization Uganda, and we do in plastics, recycling, you know, everything that concerns the environment. And secondly, I'm also part of the environmental human rights defenders, so it's a pleasure to be here.
Wow, wow. You have heard from them. Yeah. I told you that we are going to have this digestive, constructive discussion today. And you will just enjoy. Just get a pen and your book and sit and note some of action point, some of the opportunities, because we don't just talk. We are not only in talkability, but we are in actionability. That's what we do here. So, as we have now started the preparation of COP, you know, we are into the global climate change is a global crisis. But who is impacted locally are our local people who are deeply impacted because of the outcomes, the impacts of climate change. Yeah. Now that we have started the preparation of this COP, and why are we today saying that climate justice, that we need climate justice? Because when you talk about climate justice, what for me I understand is fairness, responsibility, inclusion. And today I have you, Sharon, who have been dealing with the local people, moving in the local community. I've seen Girls for Climate Action doing a lot in Eastern, in North, and even in the Central here. Yeah, and I've seen. But before coming to you, let me first come to Samalie, who has been moving. You know, when you talk about nowadays, you understand all the language of Gutaben, bonjour. So those are the language that Samalie understands nowadays because of that integration and also that movement, that global connections or socializing with the young people in different spaces. Now, Samalie, what do we understand by climate justice? For the person who is there, has been always seeing the young people talking about climate justice, and there's someone watching us and say, what does the young people mean about climate justice? Because when you talk about climate justice, it's not only about policies, but it's about inclusion, fairness, and responsibility. Please, can you tell the young people what we mean by climate justice?
Thank you very much. When we have the term of climate justice, what do we mean? Climate justice is about fairness. Who bears more about the different climatic changes, the patterns that happen? Who benefits from these, the resources that have been given onto the people? And who pays more about all this? So when you look at the climate change, it's not all about us terming climate change as an environmental issue. Climate change is more of also a development issue. So when we look at climate change, we are not only fighting about human rights, we are not also fighting about early childhood pregnancies, plastic pollution, but we are looking at the main basics, that what are those effects of climate change? For example, landslides, there are so many pollution, they are all as a result of climate change. So when we look at climate change, it's a very huge factor, very big thing that we come up as youths to fight for.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. You have had. I hope you have taken that, you have noted that in your book and you have understood why we are talking about climate justice today. Okay then, let me go to Sharon. Sharon. As I told you earlier, I've been seeing Girls for Climate Action moving to different communities, dealing with the rural communities. As earlier I've stated that climate change is a global crisis.
It is.
But the people who are deeply impacted are the rural people down there. Yes. So what is Girls for Climate Change Action? G4CA really are trying to convince with you to make them understand. Do they understand this language, or maybe you are also translating or interpreting in a different language for them to understand and grasp this?
Now, Dickens, when you look at climate justice, it's a fairness issue, like we had already discussed. Who is most affected? But beyond that of saying, oh, I am the most affected, is who has the capacity to respond.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. When you study the dynamics of the different countries, the rich countries and the slightly poor, the growing countries, now we are looking at the southern and the northern.
Yeah.
When you see the conversation there, it's about who has the resources to even respond.
Yeah.
Okay? But now when you look at the context of Uganda, our ability to respond to climate change is causing us to mostly lean towards adapting.
Yes.
But when you see, before we can even dive into that, the gimmicks around that, we should appreciate that there is no climate justice without gender justice.
Yeah.
Why? The most affected people in any climate crisis issue, you have the women, you have the youth, you have the children, persons living with disability. So one could say, I'm a man, I also get affected. It is true. It's a true and valid conversation. Yeah. However, in case scenarios where there is no water and you need a woman, you need, for example, you're in a house, there's only a 5-liter jerrycan of water. Yeah. And you have a daughter, a wife, and your children. You've spent 3 days without bathing. Who has to take the water first?
The woman. Even though, like, in my high school, like, when during the time we had the water crisis, 2 cups would be enough for you to bathe.
Exactly. So 2 cups could most likely be enough for a man to even bathe, or just consider just being a little bit hygienic. But for a woman, she would need a lot of water, even her daughter. So you must, if you translate that to prolonged drought, we are currently having a crisis in Karamoja. Just look at that. The level of hunger that has struck Karamoja because of climate change. Now, climate change is increasing of temperatures, for those that are still appreciating this conversation. The increasing of temperatures definitely does affect a lot of things. It can lead to drought, it can lead to prolonged a lot of floods and many other things. And drought, of course, now responds to food insecurity eventually. So when you look at who is most affected, the conversation goes to climate justice. Yeah. The woman is most affected in this. So there's no climate justice without gender justice. And of course, if you look at the context of Karamoja at this point, women and their children are the most affected. One would say the men are also most affected. But to be honest, a woman will always think about her child before. Yeah. She cannot eat without her child not eating. If you look at the conversation, women are the ones crying, please come and save us. They are not speaking just for themselves. Okay. They are speaking for their children. They are speaking for their husbands. They are the keepers of their homes and the keepers of the nation at large. Okay. So for Karamoja, it's an issue of a climate change issue, and really stand, as Girls for Climate Action, we stand with them. We see them. We also call upon funders to really come and join us. We want to see if we can run something for the Karamoja team, at least have some food response to them as Girls for Climate Action, as we join in solidarity with all the different organizations that have come into play to support that community. So Dickens, concerning gender justice and climate justice, women need priority. Yeah. That is our stand. Women at the forefront, and we call upon women. Since you're the most affected, please be the keepers of the earth. Go plant a tree, be part of the solutions, the climate solutions that can help us fight this crisis. It's a cancerous condition, but it can be reduced if we come together as women and front for climate justice.
Wow. It's interesting. You know, when you talk about climate justice, we are looking at who decides, who pays and who benefits. Right. And that's why my question goes, Samalie, because if people say, who decides this, who makes this decision? Who makes for us this decision? Who decides for the local people, for the underprivileged, the PWDs? Who are the people who are paying this? Because you've attended this conference, this global engagement. Who are the people who are paying for this crisis, and who are the beneficiaries of this? So please, can you tell us?
Well, thank you very much. When we talk about who pays, Uganda and Africa at large, we contribute a very small percentage on what we are facing right now as a result of climate justice and everything. So you find that the people, the Europeans, like the North, the global North, yes, are the ones actually who have contributed historically. They're the ones who have contributed more on what we are facing right now as a result of climate change. So you find that most of us now, for example, from the Ugandan perspective, we are the ones actually who are now facing landslides, We are facing the different droughts.
Yeah.
We are facing a lot of...
And we are now in the El Nino
And
time.
now we are now here, and we are facing a lot.
True.
Yeah.
So, when you talk about who benefits from this? Who are the local people who are benefiting from the money, the resources?
Yeah, climate finance.
The climate finance, that's where it comes from.
That's why we're having the third African climate finance program.
Sorry.
We need tracking of that. We really need tracking of the climate.
Yes. So when we talk about who benefits, we need to understand if these finances have been released, the resources, who is benefiting? Are they the local people? Are they the community? Are they the organizations? Are they the governments? Who? Those are now the questions we're also asking ourselves. Who is benefiting from these different resources that are provided or accorded to us as a result of the climate change? So when you talk about who decides, now that's where we are coming from, like the grassroots people, the women. We need these grassroots people, the community, rather looking at the policies that have been made theoretically, not grassroots founded. Because you find that most of these policies, the people who have decided for the grassroots people, they are not realistically when it comes to the ground level. So you find that the local people are not actually included into the decision-making processes. And you find it is going to be very hard for us to come up and we'll be like, let us end plastic pollution. Let us end early childhood marriages. Let us stop this. Because now the people we are trying to fight for don't know about these policies. And that's why I thank God for the environmental human rights defenders, because now that is part of the agenda that we want to do. That's something that we want to push and extend into the grassroots, the local people. Want to know how are they going to make their own decisions? How are they going to know their rights? How are they going to fight the different injustices that they're facing as a result of climate change?
I think just to say that as Girls for Climate Action, we observe, because climate justice is an accountability issue as well. Shifting just from accountability, but being able to give people power to even decide and say, we have this issue and this is how we intend to respond.
That's why if people know that the decision is only made by the government, some other people know that like they don't have the willpower to do anything. That's why every time any crisis, government to yambe, government to
and as Girls for Climate Action,
so those things,
as Girls for Climate Action, what we have done, we have observed that we have many women laying low and saying, oh, government to yambe. But we want them in places of power. So they're able to push for gender justice in areas of climate justice. We have the local environment subcommittees at local level. They move as far as parish level. And we are confident that at least right now we are pushing in districts, in more than 6 districts, to have young women sit on local environment subcommittees, or even sit on the lowest committee at the environment level. We have a problem currently, Dickens, where young people think they can just blow and end as an MP without growing the ladders. So this
because
is
they have the money. Someone say that I have the money, or maybe I have the Gambanogu support.
you know. But I think it's very important for young people to really appreciate that walking down the ladders, walking up the ladders is very important. If you are able to push for decisions as low as at the local environment subcommittee, it should not be hard for you to sit on the district environment subcommittee and make your district change. So I think we are pushing as Girls for Climate Action through our different interventions. First of all, we are pushing for building capacity of local environment subcommittees, so that women are able to sit and push for gender justice in areas of climate justice. Also environmental protection. We are also we are working together with districts to see that they are able to appreciate that women really need to be part of policy engagement, be part of any district engagement, so that they're able to appreciate the processes. As we grow with them to the ladders, they will have more informative and more technical knowledge to respond in places where they must respond. We don't want women to sit in places of power and they have nothing to say. We don't want them to be in places of power and they are just seated there for just to represent. We want women to sit there and share real experiences with power of experience, with power of technical knowledge, and also being able to speak to the people, structures that they understand how they work.
Yeah.
You don't want a village woman to show up and enter the parliament and she's speaking relevant information. So we are calling upon every advocate, environmental advocate who is a woman, begin to, at the lowest level. You don't need to be in the highest level to have conversations. You need to start as low as the local environment committee. Start having meaningful conversations. Make the conversation known that climate justice cannot be without gender justice.
Wow.
So we are building the processes, and also we are encouraging women to speak with us. If you have something to say and you want people to know it, we have an ecofeminist manifesto that would call upon every young climate justice advocate to come and join us. For this year, Dickens, we are pushing for data tracking. We want to know how are they coming up with these projects? Where are the numbers that show that women are the most affected?
Yeah.
We are also asking, where is the climate? We are pushing for climate accountability under climate finance. Where is the money going? Who received the money?
Who benefits?
And who benefited?
And who paid?
And who paid the money?
Because we have what we call the polluters must pay policy. These countries that pollute most, who are bringing in the most pollution into our countries, they are saying, we have pledged, we have paid, but where is that money? That's what we want to understand. Where did it go? Where did it go? Like somehow there, we need to understand.
When you see on the subsidiaries, they were pushing for, last year, 2025, they were pushing for 102 billion.
Yes.
And now they are pushing for the global south.
The global south or global north?
Global North.
Global north. They were pledging 102 million,
Yes.
102 billion. And now they are pushing for 120 billion to go out there. And we wonder, did Uganda even receive some of this money? If it received, I think we want, first of all, we want national accountability.
Yes.
We don't want to go back to COP31 and we are just having conversations of give us more money. I think it should be very imperative, very important for Uganda to start appreciating climate finance accountability internally before we hold the global north accountable. And as Uganda, if we must prosper, and we really appreciate the far that they're going, we are seeing the adaptation fund coming to Uganda.
Yes.
I think about 31 million.
It's $31 million.
$31 million US dollars. We are even seeing more money really coming from the
from Jeff, we have seen
Jeff,
also, Global Environmental Facility.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we are seeing this money coming. The question is it working? Is it reaching the woman that I'm speaking about here today? I represent the Kayunga women, the Buikwa women, the Jinja women, the Bujiri women. I am here standing and speaking for the whole, every woman, the Kasese woman. Has the money reached that woman? Or are you giving them loans ahead of a fund
that grow?
And women have to, no, there's where they're giving out irrigation pumps.
Okay.
And people to access them, they give 2 million.
You give like, you pay
2 million.
2 million?
Yes.
Yeah.
You pay 2 million. You have to be, of course, an organized group. But you pay 2 million.
As a group or as an individual?
As a group. You pay 2 million and then you must have an acre of land.
Is that possible?
Is that fund really coming to help the grassroots woman?
Or to exploit them?
So we have very pertinent issues that we want to push for the COP31. But most importantly, we want to meet negotiators in Uganda and ask them these important questions. Is this climate finance for the corporate or is to help the rural woman?
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. The discussion is getting fiery, hotter. I don't know if the energy is increasing or maybe the pressure is decreasing or increasing. So I know that you're at Jerome, that you're watching us live here at UCTV. You know, I want us, first of all, that we go for a short commercial break before we come and continue, because this kind of discussion, let me tell you, you don't get anywhere apart from here at UCTV with Environmental Dialogue that happens every Wednesday. So the next question I'll go, you've had, who gets the money? Who decides? Who
benefits?
Who benefits?
Who is benefiting?
And who is my people from my village down are benefiting, because Sharon said it is representing the women of Kayunga, what? But let's go for a short commercial break as we are talking about climate justice and finance. Also want to go and make some money, and we'll be back shortly. Thank you.
UCTV, good news for all.
Are you 18 to 35 years old? Live your life to the fullest with the Center Evolution Youth Savings Account. With the Center Evolution Youth Savings Account, you get a free ATM card, no monthly charges, free bank drafts for school fees payments, and attractive interests. And that's not all. Enjoy access to financial literacy, entrepreneurship opportunities, and bank loans. Opening the Center Evolution Youth Savings Account is your ticket to a brighter future. For more information, please visit any of the nearest branches today or call our toll-free line 0800 200 555 or 0800 335 344.
Centenary Bank. Support the Uganda Catholic Television with MTN Momo. Step 1. Dial *165*3#. Step 2. Enter merchant code 180572. Step 3. Enter any amount from 500 Uganda shillings. Step 4. Pay using MTN Mobile Money. Step 5. Enter PIN code and send. Step 6. You will receive a confirmation text for supporting the Uganda Catholic Television.
My name is Father Max Mobanjizi. By the title, I'm a Catholic priest and I reside here. This is St. Charles Guanga Chigarama Catholic Parish in the Archdiocese of Mbarara in this western region of Rwanda North Constituency, Midoma District. In this region, this church has become a treasure. I wouldn't want to say a tourist attraction in sort because this is a spiritual center, but people come here from all over, people who are not even ascribing to this religion, who come and look at this amazing structure. This is truly a beautiful church because of this roofing material that is light, that is easy, that is fast and quick, but also so beautiful because previously those construction materials would not last long. People who have not tested this, I would really recommend and highly recommend that you use this product. Use Uganda Bar.
Ultraspan, durability and strength you can trust for ages. Uganda Bati, Uganda's most trusted building solutions partner.
Sindika sente instantly, anytime, anywhere, Ogonzo Bulamu. Sasula biru zamazi goma sanyaze misolo byonna kugonza pe. Binote muri kusimba laini, kwefunda bufuni gonza pe apo bimale. Gonzo Bulamu with gonza pe. Nyenya. Sasula biru zamazi goma sanyaze misolo byonna kugonza pe. Binote muri kusimba.
I was panicking for nothing. Kumbe I have gonza pe. Give me another big fish and kachumbari and give them also on my beef.
Introducing Gonza Pay, an easy-to-use payments app. You don't have to have an account with any bank. Just dial *211# or download the Gonza Pay app and make transactions anywhere, anytime. Gonza Pay by Centenary Bank. Terms and conditions apply.
Flavor and go, refresh and go, flavor on the go. Flavor and go, refresh and go, flavor on the go.
for flavor Muka Chupa. Taste our refreshing juicy flavors in our 250 ml and 400 ml packs. Splash Kachupa. Flavor Muka Chupa.
Flavor on the go.
UCTV. Good news for all.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. I hope that you enjoyed that break, as also you are preparing other things to sit majestically, spiritually, as to listen to this beautiful conversation that we are having here about climate justice. You know, it's getting really hotter and hotter as the topic of discussion is going to another place. You know, when you talk about justice, money, people become really have issues about that. But now what we want to understand, who gets this money?
Yeah.
And who benefits this money? Is this money going to the central treasury? Is it going like to the inline ministry? We want to understand all that. So my questions go to Samalie, who has been working with the young people as the team lead of Pure Earth. He has dealt with the young people. He has moved in different countries. And my question is, are the young people benefiting out of this, what we are calling climate justice, or maybe the decisions that are made by the people whom you are putting them in quotes, the young people want to know them? So are the young people really benefiting out of all these initiatives that we are trying to talk about?
Thank you very much. One thing that I've noticed lately is it's not all about the resources.
Yeah.
It's about the innovation. So when you tell me that are young people benefiting from these so-called resources and everything, no, it begins with me. The impact begins with me. If I see a plastic bottle down there, am I going to neglect it? No. Of course, I'm going to hold it and I dispose it off. So what young people are now doing, they're not waiting for the resources, the finances that are ghost finances that we expect to receive. We are now doing the advocacy ourselves with the limited or little resources that we are having. So it's not all about them having whatever, the finances, the resources, the money. No, we are now pushing, we are changing the narrative from twagala sente, we want money, to how are we going to live this entire point of the pollution. If the issue is with sanitary towels, I have a question. We always tend to see that condoms are free.
Right.
But why is it that sanitary towels are not free? So this is something that we have to come up with. How come the condoms are free, but then we are having the sanitary towels that we have to buy? So if the youths have now come up with their own innovations of making their own sanitary pads, they have come up with the recycling part of it, they've come up with different things, innovations that have come up with, they are benefiting.
Yeah.
And how are they benefiting? Of course, we are going back with zero ourselves down to do the advocacy, to do the capacity building. Because there is no, you're going to start talking to an individual who didn't go to school, barely knows English, and now you're telling them climate change is bad, climate justice is bad, but these people don't understand the concept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is now the gap that we are facing right now between community-based organizations, non-government organizations with the government.
Yeah.
They fail to understand that they have the policies, but these policies are not actually working at the grassroots level. And that's where we come up and we're like, you know, this is what we are trying to advocate for. Maybe you could give an extra hand. But of course, as usual, we shall already see that the money has been sent in, but we shall never see that money. So what next after the money has been sent? And we don't know where it has gone. Are we going to just get stuck that, okay, the money is not there?
No.
Of course, we are going to push ourselves to do some work to eradicate us out of plastic pollution, to eradicate us out of the different climate change crises. So the youth have benefited in a way that we have given them the capacity building in what they are tending to do. Like what is environment, what is climate change, what is temperatures, what is this. Because now they can easily stand up and they advocate for what they can understand, not for what they have crammed, that, oh, maybe we should also stand up and we start doing this. No. They have come up with solutions, ideas. And now that's why I come up with the upcoming COP31. Yeah. What are the real issues that we are going to table onto the front line? Yeah. But aside that, every African country has its own challenges that they are facing.
Right.
And we are running to go to COP31. We have already seen people having issues in Uganda, not only in Uganda, African countries getting visas to go to Bonn. And this is where they are negotiating, making decisions for what is going to happen in COP31. Yeah. Now, if we are not involved into these processions, how are we going to go to COP31 to eradicate for something that has already been pushed and planned? So this is where I come up with Africans, like us as Africans. We have our issues. Can't we solve issues internally? Then from internally, if it is the resources, then let us minimize and maximize the limited resources that we have to eradicate the different climate change issues. Because now climate change has become a hot cake. Everyone is talking about it. Oh, global warming, oh, pollution, oh, gender injustices. So it is so much widely. So how are we going to come up? You know? And who are these people who are going to table that this is the issue that we are facing? That's why the environmental defenders want to empower grassroots community people that we can bring them to the African Climate Week Summit. Yeah. They speak about the different issues that they are facing. Because me as a youth, I may understand them, but I may not understand the depth at which they are facing that climate change crisis. That's why we want to empower them to come up, they know, defend their communities. Look at people in Hoima. Right. There are some people whom they did compensate money. The oil, and the oil is, of course, it's going to benefit the country. But now they are facing that different issues because they are hopeless. They don't have how to defend themselves. They can't defend themselves. They don't know the ideas. Whom am I going to approach? I went to the district. I went to this and this. But those may not be the right people to approach, to tell. So when they know the information, if they are well informed, they can easily get the power empowered. So that is now where we want to push with a narrative. We are not looking at us attending the COP31, but we are looking at what are those issues that we need to sort and solve with ourselves as the different climate, advocacies, the different, everything that has to be put on table.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Samalie, for that. Let me come to Sharon.
Yes.
He has talked about who gets the money, are the young people really accessing, and other people, they don't know where to go. And now we have organizations, we have CSOs, that's civil society organizations, NGOs, we have, private sectors.
Yes.
Are this group of people really trying to scale up this? Because you talk about data tracking, seeing that, these numbers which they are talking, are they really something which is portray what maybe you boss is saying, or maybe maybe Ministry of Finance is talking about, or maybe National Planning Authority is talking about, because we have all these agencies who are talking about data when you talk about data. So, but you still have a problem with the young people that they talk about scalability. That what they are coming out is not yet scalable to them. So what can we do with all these organizations we have in places, the private sectors we have in place, the CSOs, the NGOs? So what are really their role to help the young people?
I think when you talk about who gets the money, it's a very good, interesting conversation. Why? As in Mayor Dickens, as Sharon, I may not be able to get $1 million US. What am I trying to say? There's a fund, we could most likely be getting the money, but the accessibility to that money requires a lot.
Okay.
It would require you beyond having a national ID, which is common.
But we have seen moving to the villages, to the homesteads, registering people.
It will also require you to have, I don't know, a bank that probably has enough money to say that you can receive $1 million US. So what am I saying? Just these two requirements are already limiting a CS, a certain CBO. Because they're asking, as how? As a saving group of Kayunga, why are you receiving $1 million US? As who? As how? You know? So already the requirements to access enough money have already cut a very big percentage of Ugandans. So it gets back to you. Are they really receiving the money?
Okay.
If they are not even receiving it on their own banks accounts, if they can't even receive it on their mobile money, this 1 million shillings for PDM was making noise. People are not even having requirements to access that little money.
What about this?
What about the port, which people have the ability? We can go at the SBs, we can go at COP, and these Global North will pledge themselves to send a lot of money. They could be sending it, but are the local people really receiving it?
But the local people are receiving a myoga PDM.
Exactly. So does it reflect to the amount that is being sent in?
Okay.
So those are the questions that we're really asking. And it's recently that Ministry of Water, I think, and Environment were able to get a sort of accreditation to receive a lot of money.
Yeah.
Some bit of I don't know what they call it. But what does that even speak? Meaning that there's some particular amount of money that has been bypassing us and going through GIZ and somewhere, with water and somewhere, and all those budget cuts eventually affect the local woman who is supposed to receive the money.
Yeah.
So, are we really receiving the money? Our ask to the government: can we reduce on the requirements?
The bureaucracy?
The requirements, the bureaucracies. I earlier on spoke to a saving group has to receive an irrigation pump and they have to first pay 2 million. Wow. Really? And they've come to be helped by government. So you're talking to me as a woman who is already saving 1,000 per week. Okay? And I have to have an acre of land to access that irrigation pump. I have to have an acre of land. Already, when you study now, when you go into the local grassroots level, we cannot run away from land ownership if we have to have gender justice.
Yeah.
Land ownership cannot get out of the conversation. Why? Because a woman whom you're asking to have an acre of land doesn't even have a plot.
Is struggling with what to eat.
She's struggling. Dickens, recently I interfaced with more than 5 women in the grassroots villages. And it's now different. The conversation is pretty different. When a man gives you a piece of land to till, cultivate, they don't leave money for Kameza. So when he doesn't have land, when he has not given you land, that's when he gives you lukumi or nkumi bidi per day. So this woman who must depend on the land, there's no rain, drought, pesticides, the land is hard, everything. The man will say, yeba nange, madam, lero togenze kulima, tabana tebagenda kulia. This woman, from the lowest resource of land, she has nothing to start even the conversation. She's so vulnerable. And you tell me that the money has, and when it reaches the circle, and she's part of a circle of 10 people, they are given the circle 1 million, they must pay back the loan. They must pay back the loan that has been given to them to support them to maybe go and plant or till or cultivate in the land that she's very accountable to her husband. You see?
Yeah.
You see the whole chain? So government sends the money, it comes to a saving group, then the saving group has to split the money, people have to go and plant, dig somewhere, and because of climate change crisis and the effects, sometimes the yield doesn't come out, and she has to pay the money back to the saving loan because it's a loan. Why are these saving groups not receiving grants? If we are already, the loan system affects a lot of people receiving the money.
Yeah.
So we are still asking ourselves, who is getting the money? Because the woman you're going to ask to pay back the 8%, the 10%, whatever, even though it's 2%, is still a lot for her. Because already, the man who didn't leave a meza is asking her why she has not brought the dodo at home. The children are asking her for school fees. And there's a lot of care burden expected from her. Is she really receiving the money? Is she really benefiting? Or she's suffering with that money?
And that's where we come with the issue of finding, because when we're in Kayunga early this year, we were for the girls fellowship, climate fellowship with Gufasha Girls Foundation and in partnership with Third Foundation. But I was overwhelmed on how when we were having this camp, it was a camp. And you find that someone says a story covered by Gufasha Girls Foundation, they are telling you that I did not have money to take my child to school, so I ended up getting her married off at the age of 13 years. So now these are the issues, as she's trying to project that the issues that she has tried to dig this, the husband is not providing, and then we are going to look at, oh, we have empowered women. But if we have not empowered women, who is going to run the family?
So our ask is pretty simple. Reduce on the stringents, the bureaucracies, cut them. At least have some bit of gender justice. Say, concerning women, let them get a grant. Yeah, concerning women, let them get a grant. Then we also observed a major thing. It could be true that the government is receiving the money. It could be true that the Global North is sending the money. But I think the channels of people appreciating that there is money are not enough. We have to appreciate that there's a generational
people they get and they keep quiet because they don't want to
disturb
them.
People get the money.
They get the money. They don't want accountability. Accountability is the issue here.
It's a major issue. So the government receives the money and follows the way they used to do things. The normal communication channels, they appreciated. They send emails, they call for bids, they call CSOs, oh, you come and sign in and what. But the woman, the local grassroots woman, who would have been organized, there are many organized grassroots women out there. Very many organized. That's why the saving scheme, whoever brought it, it's really working for many village women. You find that they don't even know this information at all. I think it also begs the question, what are the district people doing, especially those in the natural resources? What are they even doing? People in the village sometimes don't even know what's happening at all. But I think it's an issue of communication. We cannot continue working through the old channels of sending people blogs, newsletters, or we have to use radios. Many village women now own smartphones. We need to go to TikTok, tell them banange, sentence as ze.
But also following the channels, I remember when I was having a discussion recently with some webinar in Zimbabwe, we were having this communication of the feminist perspective. And you find that, okay, yes, we have access, the local communities, they have access to smartphones, and they're going to air out their views. But how sure are we that the algorithm will show what they are trying to advocate for? So now that is also now another challenge, because we shall have the advocacy on TikTok, on different media handles, but who is going to watch that information? Because as far as I know, people are not interested in that. And you're going to find that the government is using a specific channel, maybe email or television, but then there is information. We are evolving. We are now seeing artificial intelligence. Someone will say that that is AI. And yet this is the information that is needed to actually set policies.
Right.
So now that is where the question comes in. Will the algorithm show? Or if they have access to smartphones, do they have access to buy data if a meal is very hard for them to afford? So now those are some of the things that we have to look at. If it is us, the government, subscribing to give people free internet, and then at the end of the month there is some small token they are paying, then that will be good, because now information will be accessible through the local channels, through people, and people will be getting information. This information, the policies, people will be able to access them. But of course, someone is going to get their smartphone, and all they'll think about is to create content while they're on the avocado tree, and they may be insulting someone, that verbal exchange. And also maybe most of them don't know about cyberbullying, and maybe the cyber communications, how they can communicate through information on the internet. So if at all we are doing the capacity, we shouldn't also forget that we are supposed to equip these people on how to use these social media handles. Which people are we going to tag once I put my TikTok video out there? That also matters. I'm not going to tag Her Excellency Jessica Lupo. She's not, interested in knowing this. I might be having an issue of floods. It is the ministry or the Prime Minister's office. But then I'm tagging the president. But the president is the hierarchy. There has someone who is going to help. So this is the information that now we have to project. And also maybe part of the solutions, or what we are supposed to give unto the government. What are they supposed to do? They're supposed to actually help us give people access to internet so that they can easily get information from different channels.
So I think you asked me if the CSOs are even receiving this money, Dickens. We must really say that we are out there, and of course the pool has reduced ever since the Trump effect
and the DGF effect.
Ever since that effect came into play, we see that the pool has really reduced. Much as people say that they are funding a lot of women-led work, again, the conversation is also shifting a little bit, where they're also calling for the men to be part of the conversation. But are we really receiving the money? We are applying. If we applied once in a week, right now as CSOs we're applying more than once. And I think in the CSOs world, we're having the gamba no goose. If you don't know who, if you don't know what, plus also the qualifications are still choking us. Because the funding is now small, is shrinking, the qualifications to receive particular funds have increased. So you find that you cannot, as Girls for Climate Action, we may not necessarily receive a big fund alone. We have to maybe be in collaboration with, say, GIZ, or be in collaboration with the Ministry of Water and Environment.
Or maybe you receive as a consortium.
So the qualifications are becoming bigger, and it's becoming a global community for us to be able to access any kinds of money. But again, we're saying, please, let the woman receive the money. Trust the CSOs that are working. Girls for Climate Action is working at the grassroots level. Trust us with those funds. We will reach the woman in Kayunga, the woman in Buikwe, the woman in Jinja, the woman in Singiro, the woman in Nebi, the woman in
Butaleja.
Everywhere. We will reach there. Trust us with the fund. We are ready, and we will speak for them. Women at the front line.
About you, women, youth, children. What are some of, in 2 minutes, because we have a few minutes to spend here in the studio, just in a few minutes, I'm going to give you 2 minutes. What are some of the actionable, maybe frameworks, or you see that strategies which are sustainable? Because when we are here, we are talking about the sustainability. It's not just throwing a project to the local people and think that they will just grasp like that. So what are some of the frameworks that you feel that the government can put in places, or maybe some of the sustainable maybe behaviors or systems that the government maybe can put in these communities, or maybe also in our country that can work for maybe a young person who is down there, a young person who has just got out of campus and is looking for adverts in newspapers, in radios and television. What are some of the things? Just in 2 minutes. Let me start with you, Samalie.
Thank you very much. What the government now has to put into place, I would give a policy on the sensitization part of it. We have neglected the fact that we are going to come up with a policy like cleanups, and then we are imposing it on people.
And
people,
we having clean up this Saturday.
Exactly. Yeah. And people have not been sensitized. They've not been motivated. They've not been told that, you know, when you keep your environment clean, the same way you keep your body clean, you're going to have a healthy lifestyle. So now the gap, why certain programs are not sustainable, it's as a result of imposing just a policy onto people minus having a sensitization bit of it, capacity building, teaching them that if we do this, this is what is going to the outcome, and also monitoring and evaluation. And secondly, I would also say still, make a quote, Rome wasn't built in one day. Yeah. What works in America will not definitely work for Uganda, because we have the different dynamics, the different challenges, the different problems that we are facing. So you cannot tell me that artificial intelligence is going to work in Uganda, yet we are facing e-learning. Some communities vulnerable do not want to know. They want food, and you expect to address an issue of food on a computer. So we are moving into that space that the government should not just quantum leap. What do I mean by quantum leaping? They jump, frog jump, from one thing to another. What is selling, it's what we are going on to. And they tend to neglect this other aspect that, you know what, the people of Karamoja do not need artificial intelligence right now. Yeah. We are in a development state. That's why I said earlier on that climate change is not only an environmental issue, but it is a development issue. Why? Because as you want to develop people, they are facing climate change impacts or effects. Yeah. So how are you going to do that? Are you going to provide a road when people are hungry? Are you going to give them computers, education, yet they are facing, they don't have where to stay? You know, it makes sense. So when we are trying to address particular issues, we have to also put into place that people are supposed to be sensitized, they're supposed to be told on what is supposed to be done, and also be involved. Banangi, they should involve these community people. Water Week, Ministry of Water and Environment. We need to see a local person from the ground level, grassroots, coming to present to us the different changes, the different climate issues, the different gender issues they are facing into their communities. We are seeing the national development plans, and they are just theoretical, they are not practical. We need to see people coming for these conferences, for the African Climate Summits, for the COP conferences. We need to see these people on ground. So that is something that is actually lacking the gap. Yes.
We need to move away from the talkability.
Yes, the talkability to the...
Wow, let me go to Sharon.
Yeah, I think for me what I would want to say, I want to start from a gratitude note. It's very important to really acknowledge that the government has not necessarily not done anything. Just to really appreciate the Ministry of Water and Environment. As Girls for Climate Action, they have given us platform. Wow. Recently, we were being pushed at Elkoi, and we presented pretty well. We were able to bring at least a grassroots woman from Kayunga, and we see that there's so much being done to see that we are in spaces as young women. And we really appreciate platforms of the sort. So what can government do to make sure that there's some bit of sustainability? When it comes to climate justice, it's very important to see that the systems change, the structure in itself appreciates the most affected. We cannot run away from the fact that already at government, at a structure level, when you see most of the Chico, there is a woman representative, the person living with disability. I think the inclusion part is there, but the functionability is the question here. Are these people that have been elected, the Nawaguna, are they informed enough to represent the issues concerning women? So I think for us as Girls for Climate Action, we are calling for capacity building of all government structures. That women are able to speak truly the issues of women. Now, the Nawaguna, when you go at the local level, they are handling marriage issues. They are handling, you know, children that are not well behaved. You know, I met a Nawaguna, she's proud. She's like, I even disciplined so and so's children. They are now fine. But there are more, there's a bigger conversation, women, that we can have concerning our issues. So we are calling upon for the government to bring enlightenment. Of course, together with CSOs like Girls for Climate Action, we want to enlighten them so they're able to expand their mind and grow their effectability at their levels of influence. Of course, beyond that, we are calling for adaptation solutions. women have the ability, you know, women are nurturers of climate, of the Mother Earth. And because they are keepers, every day in Uganda,
they are creative.
They are women, even when something fails at home, she's like, what should I do? We are calling upon that knowledge of kuyiya. Come and kuyiya for the government. Let us create some climate solutions, you know, that can change our homes, that can change Uganda, that will change that district that you're in, so that we have sustainable, because a woman will kuyiya something that will make her home stay for a long period of time.
That's true.
So we are looking for that knowledge. We are asking for those wise women to come, bring that knowledge on board so that we can develop it. Bring it to the Ministry of Water and Environment. Bring it to the Ministry of Agriculture. Let them begin to build your solution and make it more sustainable, so that we can handle climate change at large, from family level to national level.
All right, Sharon, your parting shot in 1 minute.
I want to thank UCTV for giving us this opportunity, and also for giving us the voice to give issues that we are facing into the environment, Mother Earth. But I also want to thank the government for the different initiatives that they've given on to us. And also let us not forget the local people who have also given us, trusted us to serve them, to be their voice where they cannot reach. Thank you very much.
All right, Sharon, your parting shot in 1 minute.
My parting shot is pretty simple. There is no climate justice without gender justice.
Wow.
Government, let the women have a seat on the table. And women, if you don't have the seat on the table, let's create the seat. Let's have enough information to talk about the conversation. Let us be more informed enough that they cannot run away from us.
Wow.
Yeah. Otherwise, I would just like to appreciate UCTV for this opportunity. And also, I would like to shout out to every woman out there at the village level in Kayunga, Jinja, Buikwe, Iganga, Bujiri, Bugweri, Butaleja.
Yes.
We want to thank you for the work that you are doing as Girls for Climate Action. Continue pushing for gender justice. Your voice is valid, your solutions are effective, and we can build Uganda together.
Sharon, you have not spoken about our women in our being. They need also to benefit. The women in our being, Kid Group, Adele, Gulu. You need also Girls for Climate Action. This goes to Joanna. Joanna, please not only be in the east, but also reach out to the people in Karamoja and also in that part of the country. Thank you, Sharon, for coming. Thank you, Samalie, for this. Really, it was a nice discussion. And that's why we, as UCTV, we always make sure that the young people's voices are heard and their issues at least are tabled. That's why we want to give credit to Ministry of Water, really, that they have created different platforms for the young people. That one, we need to give credit to the PAs, Dr. Charles Okidi, Alfred. You have done really with your team, with Carlis, Dr. Carlis. You have done Ministry of Water and Environment. Really, they are trying so much to really engage the young people and even incorporate them into the system. I want to thank you even in management of UCTV. You've done really, you've created this, and the young people are happy. We are seeing that we are moving in the right direction. You know, everything always comes at the end. Every sweet food always, come always at the end. That's why always Uganda say that when you're supporting the young people, you need to always see that they are supported, they are empowered. That's why in Uganda say that emiti emito yajigwa gumide emibida. That's why I don't know if I'm right or what. Maybe Kabaka might you should excuse me for that language. But as always, African proverbs say that you can never destroy the root and expect the tree to stand. So let's support the young people. Let's support with these conferences which are coming up next week, the South African climate conferences. Please, young people, you need to understand that. You need to accept. Because Sharon was telling you the opportunities that you will attain from that, you'll understand. Don't just be there at home and you say, oh, there's nothing to do. We have a lot of things. From 1st to 2nd September, we shall be at Marriott Hotel there. You need to join us. If you can contact Dr. Mariam or Mary from MOBS, from Makerere University Business School, they are able to guide you and to get to understand, why are we organizing these conferences? And you get always embodied. So, my dear viewers, the green champions, If you would like to connect with us, please, our contacts are there always. Reach out to us. Those ones who want to support the program, who want to advertise with us, who want really to support that environmental dialogue should move into another space, to the global, because right now we are in Azam, we are in Zuku, we are in God TV, and we are in YouTube. We have our YouTube page that we premiere always this conversation in. Please, you like it, subscribe to it, and share it with others. Don't just listen and leave it like that. So thank you very much, my dear producers, the people behind the set, the people in the studio, and all those ones who have been listening to us. I want to say that don't miss this Saturday, the National Cleaning Day. We would like to take your photo, share your video, where you're cleaning from, what you're doing. I'll talk to my producers so that we can share it with young people, see that what they're doing. Thank you very much. See you next week. Bye-bye.